Recording in progress.
Okay, so we gathered today in this group to do a constellation, a collective constellation on the war in Ukraine, to contribute somehow with constellation work to more insight, to see the truth in the background, in order maybe to be part of the solution and not part of the problem, and to be to maybe also well, support a development towards peace. That's what is our intention today. And so we start with the client. Who is the client? I have two suggestions. It is Ukraine as the territory, Ukraine, or as whatever what is Ukraine is the territory, and we could then also bring the people of Ukraine or people who live in Ukraine, both of them, and plus whatever you suggest. So if you have suggestions, just unmute, just name that and mute yourself again.
The victims?
Yeah. So we have Ukraine, and I put that in the middle. And then this is, and the really, peace. Okay. And the Ukraine is not our client, really, it is the people. I say people of Ukraine, and if this position is bringing us different input, which could be, then we separate it, try to separate it. So people of Ukraine, put here, and peace.
I think there must be people of Russia too.
Yes, I bring Russia, but let me, yeah. But before we bring the countries, I would like to somehow have all the clients we think, for the people for whom we do that. So it is people of Ukraine. And
can I suggest, Karl-Heinz, the people of Russia who want peace as a client as well? Mm-hmm. It's just a suggestion.
Yes. So let me bring people of Russia as a pool first, and then we bring this portion extra. Okay, Pavel? So people of Russia. I didn't get it.
It's Julia here. There's something arising for me in that, and let me speak it out. There's something about like the world. There's the larger piece. There's the collective, and then I see Ukraine and Russia, and the territories more. That is reflective of what's going on in a larger place, really in your face.
Okay, what should we name? What position should we bring? First, people of Russia who like peace. Next to people of Russia, and of course I bring Russia also.
I think also Vladimir Putin as an individual.
Yes. Okay, good. But still, first I want to go through those. We will bring him, but to bring all our clients here, or collective clients. We have people of Ukraine, we have people of Russia, and people of Russia who like peace. And I would, as a European living here in Germany, I would bring the people of Europe, or whole Europe. Of course, Ukraine is also Europe. Pardon?
Of the global community wanting peace.
Yeah.
People of people of Europe. Let's do that slow so that we don't need a rush here. People of Europe, and then I just bring Europe also. Of course, Ukraine is part of Europe, and part of Russia is also Europe, but to see like a pool of Europe there too. So it is, what was that? Oh, Europe. Is there still some clients missing? Well, we have this world thing. Who was that?
The global world.
The global community that wants peace. The global community that wants peace.
So this is humanity as the pool, and then there is humanity who wants peace, the part of humanity who wants peace. Interesting that this separation is made here, but we will see this makes all sense maybe later. So
somebody has written children of Ukraine.
Yeah. So humanity, I put it here. Can you see? Yes. Yeah. And humanity.
You know, I want to say something about the word which we tried to name.
Sorry, we need a little bit. We have to slow down. Otherwise, I lose that. You know. But you talk in a minute. So humanity who wants peace. And then the world. I heard the world. I put it on the other side. Okay, but then is that still are this all the clients or not? We have only Europe.
One more. This is the truth.
Yes, but please, can we do that step by step? And I suggest that we first bring all our clients here, so we don't have just a portion of that. We have humanity, but could be okay. Oh, we have humanity. Oh, we have humanity.
Can we have?
We have humanity.
We have the world.
Karl-Heinz, in the original ancient Slavic language, Ukraine means borderland. I find it significant. Borderland. The original meaning of Ukraine.
Yeah, but I would rather keep it a little in the core points and bring that later if we need. Of course, we know it, and this is included in the position of Ukraine, what it is. Truth was there. Where is truth? Oh, here. And now I bring the United States of America. I want to see that here too.
The Ukrainian youth. The youth of Ukraine.
Yeah. Children. It is the children and the youth is already in the people of Ukraine, and we cannot do all the portions there. But maybe if we have to, we do that, but not right now. We still have to somehow then bring the players or somebody who makes the decisions. So this is pardon?
Living beings who have Ukrainian ancestors.
Yeah, I would bring that later. We need some positions which we necessarily need. For example, this is
NATO.
NATO, yes.
NATO.
Yeah, okay. NATO.
Political interests.
Pardon?
Political interests.
Yeah.
Financial interest, money, global financial interest.
Yeah.
Power.
Money and power. But we still have we need the presidents there. Money, power. Please slow down. I'm not so fast. Money and power. And I bring also China as a factor. On the other side, on the background here. And now I bring Zelensky as the president. Zelensky, president. I bring.
It feels to me that Zelensky is the Ukraine right now.
Yeah, but we'll see what the
Making the Ukraine.
Yeah, we'll see what the constellation says to that, and I will also bring Putin. Here.
I feel called to make a suggestion. You tell me if it makes sense. For some reason, internet technology.
Yes, but let's start slow and bring the main players first, and then these are already many positions to see where we have to go after that. After we saw the main positions, and so I bring also
Russian soldiers.
President Biden. I bring Biden also here to United States. And then.
Can we bring in?
Pardon?
Can I suggest energy?
Some noise. Who is that? Okay, thank you. Wonderful.
Can I suggest?
This one was not everybody.
I said Mother Earth, the client. Can I suggest?
Please slow down. I know this is high energy field, and we have some disturbance already.
Yeah.
So please slow down. Let's calm down. Everybody, calm down. I bring Mother Earth. And now I bring war. This is obviously there, so we can bring it. And I think we should start here, and then we have a conversation in which direction we have to go. So war. Okay.
Karl-Heinz, there are a number of suggestions in the chat box. Do you want me to list them? There's about 8 of them.
Yeah, just read them to me, to us.
The land of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Peace.
It's already there. Peace, it's already there.
The earth.
We have Mother Earth already.
The grandmothers.
Yeah, we keep that in mind.
Okay. Energy. The World Economic Forum. Media.
Yeah.
The Cabal. And the Vatican.
Vatican, okay.
And sorry, we also have the pandemic, internet technology.
Okay.
The wounded feminine and the wounded masculine.
Okay, these are all very important positions. But if we go on like this will be covered, and we have no structure where to go. But good, we have this list now, and maybe we need some of those positions very badly later on. I bring the land of Ukraine. So we have Ukraine, we have people of Ukraine, we have the land of Ukraine, and I heard, what did I hear? The World Economic Forum.
Right.
I know. Let's see here what we got here, and then we go on. Okay. And what we do now, I go to start in the middle with Ukraine, and you can choose any positions of them, and you don't have to stay there. You have just for 2 or 3 minutes is enough probably, and you can sit down, and if it's important, you just tell us, and you can go all to others. You don't have to necessarily go to the one I'm doing that, but you can. So do that if you want, and tell us if there's anything, and I start here also.
Carol, it's Julie here. Could I ask, and I don't know if this is appropriate or not, can you remind us what you've got in the field?
Yes.
What actually, because there's been a lot
Yeah. Let's all calm down. I will do that first before I go into. I just tell you where everybody is. So they have the spatial. Then you also can choose your position for now if you want to do that, or maybe you just want to watch. That's okay. Thank you for that. So this is this is Ukraine. This is war. This is people of Ukraine. This is Mother Earth. This is land of Ukraine. This is President Zelensky. This is China. This is Russia. This is people of Russia. This is people of Russia who want peace. This is Putin. This is United States of America. This is President Biden. This is NATO. This is Europe. This is people of Europe. This is humanity. And this is humanity who wants peace. And here we have the world. We have money. We have power. And we have peace. That's a lot to begin with, and they will be bigger as time goes on. Let's start now, and I will start with Ukraine. Oh no, I start with Ukraine, and you can do whatever you feel. Obviously, Ukraine is suffering, closing itself, the heart area, and it's just constant suffering. So this is not a surprise. This is what we know, but it's also the things we know will also show. So, but this is clear. Ukraine is suffering all the time here now. I go to people of Ukraine. They are in their mourning and in despair and mourning about their dead, about the situation. So this is the pool of Ukraine people. So the Ukraine people, they have that. Even if they don't know it and they don't want to have that, they have it. It's all just sad and in despair. I go to the land of Ukraine. The land of Ukraine is in total fear and pain and suffering. It is an ongoing thing. It's almost not bearable. I go to war. It's war. War is just hitting on Ukraine. It's like bombs falling. It's all war. Before I go on, I bring one position and I say the aggressor. The aggressor. Without naming, the aggressor. If there is one aggressor, we will see. And I put it next to war. The aggressor. Very relaxed. Very relaxed. looking up to the sky like he or she would have nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. And it's not connecting to, from here, I don't see it connecting to Putin, but I go there, I go to Putin. All right. Yeah, he's looking at all this. What do we do? Okay. What can we do? What's next? So that's what I see with him. But the aggressor is here, and this is different than Putin. It's another position. And the aggressor is like not seen. He's laughing about that, but he knows all that, and he's just somehow, yeah. I'm not involved with that. But this is a definition. This position is the aggressor, though there is an aggressor, and it's more than Putin is. So. And now this is now what I told you in the beginning. Whatever you think how it's connected, forget it for the moment and see what's there, and then this will be enrich you somehow if you take it in. And we are just in the very beginning of that. So this is Zelensky. He is full of aggression, trying to fight this side here. And he doesn't see the aggressor really. It's like his aggression goes near to the aggressor, but goes back towards Putin. So he is full of like defense aggression. What I say, defense aggression. He wants to fight against this. But I don't want to name that defense aggression. But there is aggression in the field. So we have the aggressor, and then I bring also aggression. Could be different kinds of aggression, but this is a pool of aggression. I put it in the background of war. Aggression is very mighty. It's everywhere. It's dominating, and it's a really archaic kind of aggression. What we see here, very archaic. Where is peace? Peace is here, next to aggression. Peace is crying, it's on its knees, weak and crying and suffering. This is the energy of peace right now. I go to truth. The truth is pointing back to the background over there. Nobody is standing there, but the truth is pointing to an area where right now nobody is standing in the constellation, not represented. But there is an energy or somebody who the truth is pointing at. And I bring this position. The one, or it could be also an event, the one or event to which truth is pointing. There is something or somebody, and we don't know it right now. It's in the unconscious, but I will represent it with a position here. The one or the event to which truth is pointing. This is here, and I go there. So this is opposite, like aggressive. It's a trauma. This is a trauma. It looks also like war. So we have that in the background, and in truth tells us, well, at some point you look at this. But I go on with humanity. Humanity is just like two sides fighting. It's fight within. It's like a fight within humanity. Two sides fighting within humanity. Now I go to humanity who wants peace. It's there. And they are looking to another one very seriously. So we have to bring the other side. Humanity who wants war. And I go to humanity who wants war. And this is like humanity who wants war is like possessed by some really aggressive. It's like an animal. It's like a negative energy. It's more than a dangerous animal. It's like possessed by a negative power of aggression. I bring that. So I bring it now. Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah. But that's what. So I call it negative energy, but it's the same thing. So I put that in the background of humanity. Of humanity who wants war, negative energy. And the negative energy is heavily involved in this war in Ukraine. Heavily. So there is negative energy. This is not a person. And we don't have to know what that really is, but we have to know, we can see it is there. And we will see how that reflects in the constellation. I still haven't been everywhere. So this is the world. The world. So what? Doesn't care. Whatever that means, the word, it's a little unclear. I go to money. Yeah, money plays a role. Not so big. It's like a certain portion here is money is involved. And power is involved. Power, that's power. Okay, so I go to, I was with Putin, so I go to Russia. Standing there, feeling calm, but here the heart area is closed. Just looking at Ukraine. Feeling a little bit pity, a little bit, but not so much. It's very silent here. Russia feels silence around it. Silence. I bring silence. There is a specific silence around Russia. And if it's important or not to see that, we will see later, but I follow those words. Silence. Yeah, it's there. And it has also contact with Putin. It's very calm. Silence. Silence is like an appearance. It is a symptom. So I bring, maybe there is a message connected to this silence. Right now we don't understand what that is. Maybe a message can tell us. Message of silence, of this specific silence over there. Message of silence. Oh. message of silence is connected to China. But before I go to China, I go to people of Russia. And obviously it's similar like in humanity. There are two sides fighting. You know, if you look at the pool of Russian people, there is a fight within the people of Russia. And now here's the people of Russia who like peace. Oh, very weak. That's sad. Very weak and sad. Okay, let me bring the other side to. Maybe it's important, maybe not. People of Russia who want war. And if there would be no people of Russia who wants war, the constellation would tell us. I put it on the other side. Oh, why? Just they agree. Just away with it. Just hit on it. So they are, and it's also not really a new insight, but people of Russia are also divided in a part who really thinks that's right, what happens, and the other one, but they are weak and they are sad. Let's go to China. Here was the message of silence going to China. China. Oh, looking very relaxed from the outside, what's happening there. And somehow there is a smile, so like China would be smiling and having specifics, a portion of joy with that. But outside, it's good for that, but they just watch. But they are connected by watching and thinking this is, and feeling, this is feeling joy by this. So somehow. Okay, now here is United States of America. Jo. Oh, jo. Oh, jo. Also watching, being a bit nearer there. Saying also, okay, but there is, inside there is a pain in the core of United States here. On the outside they are like cool. Now here is President Biden. But he's like an old man shivering, but not by fear, just by not knowing what's going on. Can you tell me? It's like an old man who's not knowing what he should do, what's going on. This is a deep insight now, but that's, again, what you see here is the truth. I go to NATO. NATO steps back, steps back, steps back, steps back, tries to leave. But here it's not so interesting too. So they try to somehow leave, and then on the threshold of this door, the door keeps open, and they stay. So this is not a little surprising, but this is done the unconscious. Okay. We have let me here also bring the people of the United States, because there was a pain in the core of United States. People of USA. Again, the same thing. So the people of all those countries, you know, at least the ones we saw here, are in a fight with the other part. Okay, so you start.
I have other suggestions here, so let me know when you want them.
Well, okay. Let me follow this through, and then you read that to me. Okay, thank you. Well, you can also maybe people want rather write, but maybe this is the way it should be done. I don't know, and it would be maybe too much to listen to everybody. But you can still do that. But let me do this first, and then you read that to me, please. So what did it? Oh, yeah. Let me go through all the positions which we haven't seen, and then we bring this input from the chat. People of USA who want war, and people of USA who want peace. So, people of the USA who want war, and people of the USA who want war and peace. People of USA who want war, well, they would still hit on Ukraine and agree with that. And people of USA who want peace, very afraid, very afraid. So there are two portions, but the portion of the United States population who wants peace is very afraid, like afraid and in fear, in fear. Okay, now let's go to Europe first. Europe. Okay. Okay. So just looking at it like this would be okay. Okay. And feeling very, very supreme, and strong, but supreme. I go to people of Europe. People of Europe go down. Well, they cry and suffer. So they cry and suffer with the people of Ukraine, obviously. So there is a difference between Europe and the people of Europe. So the European government that's a European government who has that. And so I bring the land of Europe. Sorry that I just want to first close this circle and then we go into another level. Land of Europe. It's also suffering. So the land is suffering, the people are suffering in Ukraine and in Europe, and the European leaders are supreme and just agreeing with that. Very supreme. Okay, so and I go back to the aggressor before we open the chat here. The aggressor. still. Like with a very nice face. But this is the aggressor. So it will be interesting to see later on who's that. Okay, can you read for us?
Yes, the people who benefit from the war, the planner of this war, the global elite, the global financial elite, guilt, biolabs and what is hidden in the Ukraine, humanity's desire to protect, God, light and darkness, galactic fractures, women and girls historically as sex slaves in the UK, the mafia, the Khazarian mafia, hidden agendas, secrets, consciousness, and then the others I mentioned, energy, the World Economic Forum, the grandmothers, the cabal, mass media, multimedia, consciousness, Mother Russia.
There was also someone who mentioned soldiers, the Russian soldiers. And someone wants to know if you have stood on where Earth is, on Mother Earth.
Can you repeat? I didn't get it acoustically, Johnny.
Have you stood on Mother Earth? Someone has asked.
Ah, didn't I? Okay, maybe not. Mother Earth. No, I didn't. You're right. Thank you. Mother Earth is obviously loving Ukraine, touching it gently with a smile. Soothing it, somehow protecting it. And there is something like in the background of that message from Mother Earth to Ukraine. This will go away later. You will survive. This is to Ukraine. This will, and so there is a support of Mother Earth to Ukraine. And it's not the land; it is Ukraine. It's not. Of course, then it's the land too, but this is Ukraine. So there are some supporting forces coming from Mother Earth right now there.
There's more suggestions.
I thought, yeah, tell me.
Iran, Israel, Iraq, Syria, Libya, Afghanistan, the illegal wars of the United States, Brexit, organized religion, World War II, the defense industry, positions from off-planet, the one who sees the truth, Russian soldiers, oligarchs, capitalism. And someone's asking for a second round to see if anything's changed.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. We will have another round or several other rounds, but not yet.
And the Great Reset is the last one.
The Great Reset. Oh, I bring as next. I just catch that ball and bring this secret. A secret. The secret is connected to the aggressor. And then, just to see that, I bring the World Economic Forum to see whether it plays a role here or not. So the constellation will tell us. World Economic Forum. I put it behind the secret. Now we see if it's not important. The constellation will tell us. World Economic Forum. It's connected to the aggressor, and it has a sort of nasty facial expression, and it's connected to the aggressor. Okay, if the World Economic Forum is connected to aggressor, I bring, what's the name of the big guy there? German.
Klaus Schwab.
Klaus Schwab, yeah. And if Klaus Schwab has nothing to do with that, constellation tells us. But the World Economic Forum has a connection to the aggressor. Where do I bring them? Ah, behind the World Economic Forum. And this is really the person, this is really the man. But he is laughing like crazy, because this is obviously his thing. He is laughing like crazy that this is happening. Okay, but take it as the truth for today. You can always decide tomorrow that you don't believe that, but take it for the truth for today. That's his reaction. I go to the aggressor. Yeah, there's a connection to Klaus Schwab. Mm-hmm. And now when they connect, the aggressor is softened. Yeah, just, yeah, okay. Like friends. Like friends. Yeah, okay. And if that happens, I go to Klaus Schwab. He can't stop just laughing like crazy about this. So I bring a secret plan, or a plan, secret plan, a plan, the plan. You see whether there is a plan or not. We'll see. Go there, the plan. Plan goes down and searches for, like on the ground, for obviously dead people. So there is a plan wherever that plan comes from, and this is searching for dead people. Now I bring the secret plan, if there is one. Secret plan. There is a secret plan. It's connected to the aggressor, and to a whole bunch of people here, Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. So there is a secret plan. It doesn't tell us what this should be, but there is a secret plan connected to them. I don't see directly the connection to the war here, but we can. Maybe secret plans have also messages. They could be. I never did that before, but it's here. A message of the secret plan. And we still don't know whether this is directly connected to that, but it's there. Message of secret plan. Yeah, the message of secret plan says that the secret plan is connected to the war in Ukraine. So the secret plan was so secret that it didn't tell us, but the message tells us. So there is, what we know now, there is a secret plan connected to the aggressor, and who is obviously friendly or a friend of Klaus Schwab, and to the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab. I go to truth. Yeah. Yeah, the truth says yes, looking at Klaus Schwab. Yeah. So this is true. This is true. The truth says yes. And still. Well, knowing this now, I do at least a half a new round to see whether there's, knowing this, that we as a group today know this part, that whether this is changing this situation here. I go to aggression. I can even find it. This would be a good idea not to find aggression, but here, the aggression. And this is the aggressor. Okay, so I go to negative energy here, which is possessing, obviously, part of humanity. And there is a connection between negative energy and Klaus Schwab. I go to the war. You remember that in the beginning it was just like bomb after bomb. Now the war stopped. Like, what's that? So energetically, this is already something weakening war. To know that is energetically weakening the energy of war. That means we are somehow, this is a path which leads to some weakening there on the board. And I go to peace. Peace. And peace was on the floor before now. Peace is rising. And connecting to somebody over there. With a heartfelt connection. So knowing that, not just as a possibility or as somebody wrote it, or it could be. No, if you see that in a constellation, it is true. So now you know it for good. Even if somebody tells you tomorrow it's nonsense, doesn't matter. You know that, and we know it, and I know it. And knowing it this way is changing the scene already. Even not changing them, it is knowing that it's already changing them. So peace is strengthened, war is weakened. I go to aggression. Here's aggression. Now aggression goes back to Russia. I go to Russia. Now Russia gets afraid from that sort of aggression. So the energy is shifting here. Silence is also afraid from Putin. Is weakened and his legs are like shivering in fear. So his energy changed. I go to people of Russia who want war. No, they don't care. That's okay. So their war energy is weakened also. Okay. So don't care, but they are not really agreeing with the aggression now. People of Russia who like peace, they were very weak and sad before. I go there now. They are turning around, standing, looking at Klaus Schwab. Aha. 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 And this aha, aha, aha is a process, a development of understanding more and more by looking at him. So the portion of Russian people are looking at him, understanding more and more what that means. Just by knowing that. So this is people of Russia. This was the pool. Well, it's divided anyways. I go to the United States of America. Feels weak. Almost sad. People of USA, but this is the pool. I go people of USA who want war. Also stop wanting war. They are not much energy now, and they will just go away. People of United States who want peace. Aha! Also are strong now. They were weak before. Very strong here. And look at Klaus Schwab. So, aha! Aha! Also in the process on the collective level of understanding what this man and this organization means. And China. Okay. Okay. But then they turn around. Okay, then not. They turn around and do their thing. So then not. So they turn around. Okay, then not. Meaning knowing it makes a big difference. And I go back to the people of Ukraine, and you remember they were really suffering a lot before. You know, halfway up, and they want to get up more. So there's a power wants to straighten them up, but they're stuck like in the middle. But they are coming up, and it's something is not hindering them doing this. So we are not through with all this, but they are coming up just by knowing. And Ukraine. Ukraine is looking at Klaus Schwab and having a maximum of aggression towards him. But I don't exaggerate. This is here what I see. Just by us knowing that. Here's the land of Ukraine. Standing. There is a burden still. And they're afraid from the side. Zelensky. His aggression against this Russian side here decreased. He's standing there. He's just not looking at the World Economic Forum or at Klaus Schwab. He's not looking there. Like not knowing exactly what to do but somehow he knows that something is there. But his aggression also lowered. Money. Well, money has still the same little area to connect. Power is giving Klaus Schwab this gruß, this greeting. It's like a Nazi greeting. Okay. If this is coming in, I just bring the expression, just like Nazi, whatever that means. It's really, but this is just to see whether the expression Nazi has something to do with this here. I put it in the background of power. Oh yes, the Nazi. Well, I should make Nazism. I call that Nazism. So it is not just, it's not just a person. That's it. And it's behind power, and it holds the whole frame here. Not being very aggressive here, but it's everywhere, and it's like it holds the whole frame. And I go back to power now. Power and Nazism is connected. It's like it's very, very close. So you cannot here in this constellation, or at this moment at least, you cannot separate. It's together. Biden. Well, he was shivering like an old man before. Now I go there. Well, he's looking at Klaus Schwab like a mentally retarded person. And this is the background. This is the unconscious. He is just doing what they say. It's like mentally retarded. Like I go there back, and you can please go. Feel free to go wherever you want and check that in your room. You don't have to necessarily see the same things like that, but do that. Be part of that. President Biden, like saying yes to everything, like an debile person. Now we had the one or the event where truth was pointing at in the beginning. I go there. And this also holds a lot of aggression. So now we go to another level. You know, you see all that, and it's already better if you know the players and how it's connected. But it's still not all liberated. It's not all done. So in this case, in every personal constellation, then I ask, okay, now where is the unresolved trauma here? Where is the origin of that? And there might be here also something connected with truth and this entity, whatever it is, whether it's a person or event or a trauma, might be interested because truth is connecting to that. So I bring something like, I define that as the original trauma, if there is one. Of course, you know, they are obviously causing that, but it could be that, and negative energy, it could be enough for that for now, but I bring that layer also. So original trauma means original trauma which is somehow connected to the war in Ukraine. And if there is no original trauma here, you know, connected, but of course there will be some, but we will see, You don't have to guess, we can test it here. Original trauma. One does the same thing. It is here. It is an aggressive trauma. So there is trauma. And of course, if we look at history, you know, there is a lot of trauma in the background of Ukraine, of Russia, of Europe. It is everywhere. But what is this one connected now to Ukraine? Okay, I go back to Klaus Schwab. He turns around and he stopped laughing. and he sees that original trauma. And he presses his lips together so he wouldn't talk about it, but he is inside, he is connected, touched by that. So, for some reason, the original trauma is connected also, or Karl Schwab is connected to that. Okay, so now I bring, well, again, Ukraine. Now the range of Ukraine is also decreased, and it's also looking, Ukraine is looking at this original trauma. And it's much calmer here, much calmer. And Mother Earth is also looking at the original trauma. And war, war is moving. War is moving to original trauma and mourning about, obviously, victims and people, dead people. So this energy of mourning about victims, about their own people, was in war, even before, covered by aggression. And now if you bring this original trauma into the energetic field, it was there anyways, there all the time. But if you see it, if we bring it into our consciousness, and constellation work is just this one thing, it brings something into our consciousness, is war is leaving and going there and transforming into somebody who mourns in sadness. I go to truth. Yeah. And truth says, yeah, well, look at this, look at this. So there is something more to see. Truth wants to see, obviously wants us to see more there. I go to the people of Ukraine. They're standing. Ooh, wow. Oh, but they connect to this area now. So it is a changed picture, and the aggressor, whoever that is, a friend of Klaus Schwab, here he is in total fear. So this is all connected to. So the original trauma is important for this, and it's changing. It's a game changer to even bring it. I go to Nazism. Oh, and it lowers the energy of Nazism. It was there everywhere before. Now it's just there. Okay, okay. Power is going down and turning into sadness. So there is sadness now, and this is clearly connected to whatever that original trauma is, to this original trauma. I bring, pardon?
Sometimes people are talking about the Jews murdered by the Nazis, the Ukrainian and Polish Jews and Gypsies murdered in the Second World War.
Yeah. We will just try to find out what is the original trauma, and then this may be way back, and all the traumas which were in between could be consequences of that. But we don't know. But I concentrate what the constellation says, and this could be very well connected to all those later traumas. But we still try to find the origin of that. But no, this will be probably connected. So tell me again, what was the exact expression of those positions?
Well, people said, bring the Jews murdered by Nazis and let Klaus look at them. Jews and Gypsies.
The Holocaust I bring the
Most
Holocaust.
European Jews lived on the land of Ukraine and Poland and were exterminated by the Nazis. I also have one other comment by someone. Pavel from Russia has said several times, as a representative resonating with Russians who want peace, you've been saying Russians who like peace.
Okay.
I am enraged that my want is not accepted and heard by Karl as a facilitator. He keeps calling this part Russians who like peace. On the other hand, he calls the part Russians who want war, accepting their want.
Okay, I changed that. I don't think it makes much difference, but I changed it right now. First I bring sadness next to, and then I, okay. And of course, there's so many people seeing that, and there might be aggression feeling. Some of you might be feeling aggressions for somewhere. And just tell us if something like this happens. If I did didn't hear something, I'm trying, you know. But please be respectful against everybody, also for me. So I take that in. I take that in. And this is just to clarify that aggression coming from former trauma, you feel it, but you don't know where it's coming from. So there is somebody near you, and you project it to this one. And it could be also a loved one. It could be whoever it is. So let's try to. You feel that, but that you know the one in this group. Nobody in this group really deserves to be a victim of aggression. So this is like mutual respect, even if it's hard. But I try to bring everything in. So I changed that right now. Yeah, who wants peace? And I go there to see whether there is any change. But it might have been changed already before we changed that now. Will they feel something in their background? They feel aggressive here. There's something like insecure in the background of them. Now here's sadness, and sadness, all the sadness connects to this original trauma. Now let's work more to see what happened really. And if a trauma like this has this input, sadness and aggression, it's probably that somebody was murdered. This is not just a battle, but I bring victims. I bring victims, and victims are defined as people who are murdered. Because they in war, you have two different people of the dead people. One is death. You have one. If you're on the battlefield, everybody has a rifle or gun. And who shoots first? This is, of course, a burden for two of them. For them, the one who shoots and the other one too. But it's not in your own soul, and also in society, it's not murder. But if you capture the other one, the enemy, and you disarm him and put him on the wall and shoot him, then this is murder. Also for your own soul, and also for society, that's then war crime. And for your own soul means that your descendants might suffer from that. So this brings the guilt into your family. So if I say I bring victims, then I bring possible victims, murdered people, to the scene of this original trauma, to see whether they are part of that scene, part of this constellation, part of War of Ukraine. Let's just bring 3. Of course, there could be much more.
Can you please bring the Jews? They were before the Second World War.
The Holocaust. I bring the Holocaust.
No, before the Holocaust. In 1919, Ukraine murdered plenty of Jews.
Okay, so I bring the Holocaust and the pogroms.
Yeah,
also the Jews lived on that land for 900 or 1,000 years. They were there a long, long time.
I bring them to see whether they are connected with the original trauma. They could be the original trauma, but we will see. So, Holocaust been programmed. What did I try to do now? Oh, the victims. Okay. Let me put them over there first. And feel free to go to all of those positions if you like. So this is victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3. And before I go to them, I check with Holocaust that this is, yeah, it's there too. It's here. And programs. So they have their own area here. I don't see a direct connection. This might be even older here. I go to them. It does not mean that's not connected. I go to the first victim here. Somebody has to mute. Maybe Sheila, are you this typing? Please mute yourself if you type. Otherwise, it's on the recording. Thank you. Victim. Standing there, it doesn't feel like a victim here. But it's defined as a victim. Victim 2 also. Standing next to this one. Calm. Third victim. This one is on the floor. Still suffering. I bring 2 more. It's a little strange that victim 1 and victim 2 are showing not a victim feelings, but they are defined as victims. So maybe this will reveal later. But there is at least one there. I'll bring 2 more. Victim 4. On the floor, crying. Victim 5 also. So there are 6. So there are many victims here, and the first 2, it's just not, that's a little odd what they show. I go back to the victim first. They are looking at the other victims. It's like two different kinds of victims here. If there are victims, there will be perpetrators. What we do now is we try to find out some information about the original trauma, which changed the scene here energetically when we put it in the constellation over there. And truth brought us there. So it makes sense to find out a little bit more if we can. And so I bring 3 perpetrators. Well, somebody killed them, so even if we don't know who that was, somebody did it. So, 1, 2, 3. I go to perpetrator 1. Well, this one is just looking at those 3 victims and the others over there. Not very touched. Well, what's that? No, doesn't care really. Perpetrator 2, the same thing. Perpetrator 3. perpetrator 3 is one of the perpetrators who hits on those victims. So obviously there are also two different kinds of perpetrators involved and two different kinds of what I was defining as victims. I go to the first victim again. Yeah. And it's standing right next to the perpetrators here. So they were defined as victims, but they act like perpetrators who just watch what happens, and there are other perpetrators who are in the front doing the killing. So is anybody sensing what that could mean by the far back history of the region? Please just talk, if you have any idea.
Karl-Heinz, for me, it reminds me of slavery back in over 1,000 years ago. Male and female slaves were treated differently, and some slaves were also owners of slaves.
Mm. Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Hi.
Feeling.
Mm-hmm.
We asked to add Jews, and maybe you should add Jews to see.
Okay, well, just Jewish people, or what? How would you say that?
Yes, just Jews. Let's see.
Jewish people.
From this region, from Europe, from Poland and Ukraine.
No, just Jews.
Everybody, okay.
Can I write Jewish people?
Can I make a suggestion?
I would also, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, can I make a suggestion? Maybe don't include it now, but it's also come up in chat, is that some people are making the connection between the Jewish people, or the distinction between the Jewish people in general and the Khazarian tribal people that took on the role of the Jews and had a very different line in history, that also have a connection to Schwab in some versions. So just to bring that into awareness.
Okay, thank you. I bring Jewish people here, and then we see what we need is more information about this original trauma. And Jewish people could be connected to that, or other people. So, but what my question was more, is anything popping up in your mind if you see, I mean, Matthew, thank you for that. Slavery thing, we could see that too. But let's do that now slow, because this is like unknown, it's like detective work.
Yes. But when we say Jewish people, it's different when we say Jews. So there is something different. So maybe you should add just Jews to see what is going on. Because Jewish people, we are defining them as the pupil. But when we put the Jews, it means something more, So then we should include inside too.
Okay, can you explain the difference between Jewish people and
because
Jews?
it goes, when we say Jewish people, we say people, human. But when we say Jews, it could be a religion act too, So it's so wider when we say Jews,
But Jews, if you say Jews, you mean people, right?
Oh, I don't know exactly. I just feel this word very immensely that has.
Yeah, I know, but if they are not people, who would it be? I mean, maybe
we don't know.
I bring both, and then we see. I just bring it here, and then we see whether it connects to the original trauma. And we are trying to work here with the original trauma. So Jewish people and Jews. I go to Jewish people. They are leaning here on the side and just watching. So they are not really deeply involved. And I go to Jews, the same thing. So here in the constellation, both do the same. So it's not a big difference. And they are not involved deeply involved in that original trauma. So please, now we concentrate on this original trauma. So, okay. And what it could be, just what it could be, is that, this is repeating. you become a victim, or your people get a victim, and later on you become a perpetrator. And so this takes turns through history. This is well known. But who was that?
For me, I'm sorry. For me,
sorry, I wasn't done. You can speak in a moment. But the question is still, what is the original trauma? So it was a specific trauma. It was not just the trauma; it was a specific trauma. And I'm trying to find out what was that, and when was that, and where was that. What did you want to say?
I'm sorry. I just came to remind Christ. I mean, as a Christian, for me,
okay, thank you.
A big change within the history is Christ.
Okay, so I bring religion into the field. Is that original trauma connected to religion? It could be any religion.
Good question.
Yeah, thank you for this input. and then if religion connects to that, we will then specify and see and try the other. They're different. And I already feel it. I already feel goosebumps when I go there and put religion there.
I'm listening to people use the word Jews almost as though it were a country going back to antiquity. God's chosen people. And I wonder if that somehow could relate back. It also goes back into the history of Europe, where there were multiple times when the Huns and the Vandals and all kinds of people swept all the way across Europe, behaving very much like the great Khans who crossed Europe, raping, pillaging, and murdering.
Okay, thank you for that. We still don't know. We try to find out what that was. What is this religious or not? And of course, all those what you say, Larry, is true. It is true, and it might be helpful. But let me just check that what I was just trying to do. What was this trauma driven by a religion or not? So I go to religion, and feel free to do that in your space too. Religion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So religion is there. Oh, but it's not doing much. It's there and looking at the victims. Yeah. Let's specify the original trauma geographically. Was it in Ukraine? Was it in Russia? Where was it? We might not find that out, but
exactly, Karl-Heinz. That's where borderland comes in again for me strongly. Yeah. The meaning of Ukraine, borderland.
So. Okay. Well, before I bring, pardon?
I want to link with borderland. And if one looks at, to me, there's betrayals in terms of deep connection between Russia and Ukraine. Because originally, Kiev Rus actually gave rise to the Russian people. They were the originating, founding people who eventually then went more east and established Moscow.
Yeah.
So
we will go there now slowly, and it could be very well something like that. But before I bring Ukraine as a new position, we have Ukraine already. So let's see whether the land. I go to the land of Ukraine. This is still suffering here. It doesn't feel a connection there. I go to Russia. Yeah, there is a connection. Russia is connected to whatever that is. Yeah.
I also wonder if we're using Charles Schwab as shorthand for something else. And is it real people, a real organization? Is it money, or is it yet again some dark thing that the victim whoever they were became the perpetrator.
Okay, still we need to get closer to this original trauma, and Russia is.
Can we put in the Tsar?
Pardon?
The Tsar.
What if the original trauma is off planet?
We don't know. We go step by step. Please let me do that.
Can we put in the Tsar of Russia?
I know, but then we need the. Well, we could do that. It depends. We know who was murdering and who was the perpetrator and who was the attacker. Well, the Tsar is which one? There were several, but I just bring the Tsar as the Tsar, and maybe to see whether he is connected or she. Yeah, connected, and on the victim side, Tsar goes down with the victims. What was the exact name of the Tsar who was murdered 1917 or something?
Alexander. Tsar Alexander.
Yeah, first, third. Do you know?
I don't know.
Can somebody look that up in Wikipedia? Or does somebody know? No?
Second. I think it was the second Tsar, Alexander.
It was Nikolai the Second.
Nikolai.
Yeah, Nikolai the Second. Oh. Nikolai the Second.
The one who was murdered with his family.
Yes.
Oh, that was last. Oh no, he abdicated, but I don't know if he was murdered. Oh no, you're right. It was assassination of Alexander II of Russia.
Thank you.
Tsar Alexander II. This is the specific one. Tsar was only Tsar. Could be different ones.
Is it not Romanov? Alexander Romanov?
For what it's worth, it seems much older to me. Much older.
Yeah, it could be, but I want to check it. So if you have the name, I can check it. Does nobody know? Should I really do that myself?
Nikolai II, Romanov family, they were murdered after the revolution. If you're talking about Alexander II, it was in the 19th century.
Okay, tell me the exact name of that Tsar, please.
Nikolai II Alexandrovich Romanov.
Ah, Alexandrovich II. Alexandrovich
It's
II.
also Nikolai, so it has all the names.
Yeah.
Nikolai II Alexandrovich Romanov.
Thank you. Thank you, team. Well, this is a test. I don't know whether he is that. So. Yes, that's him. So he is part of that original trauma which is causing the war today in Ukraine. So, who else was murdered with him? His family. Does anybody know who exactly? His wife?
Yeah.
And
wife and 3 daughters and 1 son.
One son?
Yes, Alexei.
And how many daughters? How many daughters?
4. 3 or 4? 3, I think.
3.
4 daughters.
Pardon?
Tatiana, Maria, and Anastasia.
Ah, okay.
There's also a history with that male
Sorry, this is too fast for me. I have to write that down. Sorry. Calm down.
1 son, Alexei.
Can you tell me the names, please, slowly, so can I write it down?
Yeah. Nicholas and Alexandra had 5 children.
4 girls.
Yeah.
Olga, Tatiana, Maria, Anastasia, and 1 son, Alexei. And they were shot and bayoneted to death.
Okay. So 4 daughters or 3?
4.
4. And they were all shot?
No, shot and bayoneted.
Ah, yeah. Murdered.
Yes, but who did? We need also these people to add. Who did murder them, actually?
Of course.
And one son, Alexei.
Yeah. So.
4 daughters, 1 son.
Okay. So. Whoever has a dog, please mute. But the dogs are also barking, so it's. Okay. So this is the son, and this is the wife, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4 daughters. I go to everyone, and you can too if you want. So this is the wife of the Tsar, also dead on the floor. The son, also dead on the floor. Daughter, 1 daughter, second daughter. They are all dead here on the floor, 3 and 4. So they are here, and they are part of the original trauma, which is connected to the nowadays war. And, pardon?
May I offer something into this? Which, if there are more informed historians than me, please, I may have this wrong, but I have heard a version of history that relates that this massacre was the revenge of the Khazarian tribes who had been ousted by the Russians, that process was already a re-traumatization one.
It could be, but we bring when we have already perpetrators over there, and I go there again. And then there, of course, you might be right, because there were victims who were acting like perpetrators, and there were perpetrators. So it might be, let me bring revenge there before we see that more.
Well, the
Revenge.
Khazarian tribes, again, because of their potential link through into the lineage that goes into Nazis and Schwab.
Yeah, but let me see first, is revenge part of that?
Okay.
It was the Bolsheviks.
Yeah, it was Bolsheviks, right. Yeah. But Bolsheviks were coming from different tribes anyways. They were not just Bolsheviks. So revenge, I bring revenge in the constellation. Revenge. Oh. Wow. Wow. So revenge is connecting those victims and the family of the Tsar with those perpetrators over there. There is revenge, raging revenge. But I go to the original trauma again. The original trauma. This is defined as original trauma. Yeah, and the original trauma now steps back behind those perpetrators. So that the murder of the family of the Tsars and maybe other victims. We had other victims here too. I go there. Yeah. So there were all, not only the family of the Tsar was murdered. There were other people murdered in that period, and they are there. And the original trauma is somewhere else. It is in the background of those perpetrators. So, what did you say? Who took revenge?
I did, and the version that I had heard involved there being a tribe of Khazarians who were ousted by the Russians, more or less. That this is one of the
Khazarian.
It's called the deep Khazar, yes, which was also part of Ukraine. But the point is that their religion was originally satanic. Or maybe that's not quite the right word, but it was a very negative religion, and they were forced to convert to Judaism. And then there's a whole story that runs through, that is told in certain historians.
But let me look up this word. Can you spell that for me, of these tribes?
Khazarians, K-H-A-R, sorry, I need to write it.
Yeah, yeah.
K-H-A-Z
K-H
K-H
Okay, K-H and
A-Z-A-R-I-N. And this is part, I mean, the writing about this, the Khazars, I mean, you find it only in sort of unusual histories, but there's a lot of research done back a long way that tracks this. And
so we will not really...
I would like to add to that that the conflict started in the year 600 between the local Slavic population and this Khazars tribe on the surface of Ukraine.
Okay.
That might be an original trauma going back.
I just have to write this down here.
I've also been looking at centuries, and I get the major first thing is in the 400s. I have no idea what it is. And something else between 1000 and 1100.
Ah, okay.
But the 400 is the earliest. And you've been doing so wonderfully well, that might be worth you testing and seeing what you find.
Yes. Before I do that, let me see when the original trauma goes back behind those perpetrators. I go back to the two victims which turned out to be perpetrators in that trauma over there. Victim 1. Yeah, there's this. There are victims with the original trauma, and they became, out of revenge, obviously perpetrators, or their descendants here with the family of the Tsar and other people in that period. And so what that means, and the perpetrators here, they try to protect. So that means that there were other perpetrators involved in the original trauma. And before we do that, we can test the time. Where is my pen? Sorry. Here. So I bring the 1900 and 1800 and to see whether it's earlier. Could be much earlier, of course. So this is the times, the constellation of time, and I bring here 1800, and this is the time of the original trauma. So this is the year 1800, and it's obviously earlier. And okay, well this was 1900 earlier. So I bring 1000, so we don't have to all do all the centuries. And that's what you see in many collective constellations, that we have to go way back.
What about going around the year 600?
Yeah.
And conflict between the local Slavic populations and these Khazars?
Yeah, we bring 1000, we bring 500.
1200.
So this is the year 1000 and this is the year 500 after Christ. 1000, oh it's earlier, 500, oh it's later. So we have, it's between 500 and 1000.
I keep getting 1000 to 1100 and then earlier 400.
Yeah, 600. 700, 800, and the historians can then look it up. You know what it was. Or maybe someone of us could check this period, and we have some information already. So that means the revenge was going through all the centuries, like repeating patterns of trauma. Going all through the centuries, and then now also acting out in the period when the family of the Tsar was killed, plus going on until today's Ukraine conflict. So it makes sense to see whether we can find it and get more information about it. So this is 500, so this is 600, 700, 800. 600, yeah, pretty good. 600, so it's 600. It's around 600. So who can tell me what happened then there? Can you repeat if you know?
So it seems like there were important conflicts between the Slavic population in Ukraine with these Turkish Khazars tribes, and they were fighting between them, and then they excluded the Khazars.
And the Mongolians, they came later?
I couldn't say that. I can check.
Okay, so the Khazars were not Slavish, they were Turkish, or what?
Yeah, they were not Slavish, yeah.
What were they there? What was their origin?
Turkish.
Okay, in the land of Turkey.
Yeah.
And is there a name of the of the Slavic population in Russia and Ukraine at that time, or is it just local population of Russia and Ukraine?
Slavic population in Ukraine.
Slavic. Well, it could be Russia is connected to that. It is not really Ukraine. It is Russia. Yeah. But it's in that 600 after Christ. This was not really separated. I think, was it?
Someone suggested that Khazar Turkish. But this is, maybe you should write this one. Kazakhs Turk.
Yeah, I have already wrote it down. So Slavic part of Russia.
And I add in again, because it seems in the histories that I've read, the important aspect of the Khazar tribe that was there was not necessarily geographical, but again religious. And there's been some discussion in the chat. Originally I said satanic, which is probably the wrong word, but we're talking Moloch worshipping, we're talking ancient negative shamanic black magic.
Yeah, but you have to take into consideration that the Christians always demonized all the religions before that. So if you have information like this, it could be true, but it might not be true. So
and please, if we could also take into consideration that there is not anything definitive about the Khazaria. And so I think we're saying certain things that actually have a prejudice venting to them. From what I have read of the Khazaria is that they were a nomadic tribe that was very much of war, rampage, pillage, rape, and then they believed in many gods, and when they saw Judaism that had one God, many people gravitated towards that concept of one God, hoping that that would bring unity and some peace to the people themselves. So it wasn't that they were forced to become Jews. It's that they accepted the idea of maybe one God, the concept of one God would calm things down.
Thank you. Before I bring those tribes in, I bring the perpetrators of the original trauma. And because we don't have them so far, we have...
But I wanted to add, if I recall, there was a period in about 300s to 500s when the Holy Roman Empire was going crazy about the Vandals and painting over Europe. Now, I don't remember for sure if I remembered correctly, but I am getting a big energy hit all the way back. But the other thing that I wanted to say, and then I'm going to be quiet.
You don't have to be quiet.
I kept getting revenge, 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 revenge. It's all about repeated revenge.
It is. It is. And we will see how far we get here. You know, we might not get into the details because we don't know. But what we have now, we will put there, and then we see where we are, and then we see what we can do about it, or whether we can do it, and whether we need something to do about it or not. So this
You're
is
doing wonderful so far. Just keep it up.
We'll keep it up. Yeah. Yes, I will. So this is the original trauma here around the year 600, and this is the perpetrators of that trauma. The perpetrators. We have already some of the victims here. Perpetrators of the trauma.
Please
and they're
press
hitting
the
on
400.
the victims. Please listen now. I'm coming back to you in a second. Perpetrator 2. So they are. Now we found the perpetrators who caused the original trauma. We don't know who that was. We will go that to the next step. But 3 of them is maybe not enough. Because sometimes perpetrators have perpetrator systems going up to the top guy. So I bring more. I don't have so much space, but it doesn't matter. They will be the perpetrator 4, perpetrator 5, perpetrator 6.
Do we have the grandmothers in yet?
No.
Can we put some grandmothers in?
Please later. I have to follow that thread, otherwise I get disorganized. But you can go into a position of grandmother and see how that feels as a representative. You can do that yourself and tell us later.
Yes,
but I'm happy to do that later. But I need to follow that thread. Otherwise, we will not have them. Perpetrator 4, 5, and 6. 4, yeah, somebody who's really active with aggression. Perpetrator 5, somebody who's looking just from the back, very supreme feeling. And perpetrator 6, oh, there is no perpetrator 6. So there is a very supreme guy in the background as the main, highest in the hierarchy, highest perpetrator. And of course, it would be good then to know who that is. And I don't know whether we have the capacity to find that out, but I bring the Slavic population of Russia, the Slavic population of Ukraine, the Kasserine tribes. Okay, that's to see whether they are connected with this. Kasserine tribes, Slavic population of Russia and Ukraine. Kasserine tribes. Over here, over here. Yeah, they're involved on the perpetrator side. And this is Slavic population of Ukraine, very afraid of them. Slavic population of Russia, wow, falling down. So they are obviously part of them. Okay. So what we have here is Slavic population in Russia falling down when those tribes come, and they are active perpetrators in this original trauma. I go to truth. Yeah. Truth says that's it. That's it. So they were coming from outside and doing the killing there. This is the original trauma. I go to the negative energy over here, which is obviously influencing the half or part of humanity. now doing nothing, just looking. I go to Ukraine. It's up. So that we know what happened, and that revenge is causing this cascade of war and killing. Now this is bringing Ukraine up. There's still a pain there inside, but it's standing. People of Ukraine are by heart connected to this. Please don't interrupt me now, because I'm reporting from out of the position there, and the people of Ukraine are by heart feelings connected to the Slavic population of Russia who were victims of those tribes. Aggression goes to those perpetrators, or the aggressor, here the aggressor doesn't know what to do. That means me knowing that is weakening this aggressor, which was here really heavily involved with the war. And I go to Klaus Schwab. Now it's like like a balloon. Put a needle in there, so the energy goes away, and he's just watching that, and he's somehow touched, but not doing nothing right now, just on the side. And he was a great player before that. Now he is just watching. And this is the World Economic Forum also going down. So these are all peaceful developments here, also going down. The secret is looking back to those tribes and Kazakh tribes and just nodding. Zelensky, now he doesn't know what to do. War, there was war. War was there were the original trauma before that, and now slowly going back. So this is like for the region, this is for the region like the original war which we found there. And the war is now connected to there. That means it leaves the energy field of Ukraine in the present times. Now peace. Well, peace is there, but still burdened. So, 100% peace would be like this. And so this is like, let me say, 60% or something, not really liberated, better than in the beginning, but this is not all the way. Now, Mother Earth, it's very sad, hand on the heart if she looks over there. And Russia, it's so sad. And now somebody mentioned Mother Russia. What did you say? Somebody said something about mother.
Grandmothers.
Yes, but and for Russia, yeah. Isn't there an expression for?
I said Mother Russia.
Mother Russia. So the grandmothers, I bring the grandmothers, and I bring the mothers.
And the Mother Russia is more like a country, rather almost like a country before it's a Russia.
Mm.
And I want to say something. I stand it for, I saw that we are looking for origin of problem. So I stand it for the solution as a representative, and I saw mothers who gave birth. This is the answer for solutions.
Yeah.
Mothers who gave birth.
Okay, so I bring the solution, and I bring Mother Russia, I bring mothers, and I bring grandmothers. Okay. And I already have goosebumps saying that. So the solution, I put the solution here, and then we see what it does. Hopefully find it here again. So this is Russia, and I put Mother Russia, and this is mothers, and this is grandmothers. So I go to Mother Russia. Oh, this is almost like a woman who is in labor but having pain in problems giving birth. Mother Russia is trying to give birth, so there is something new coming. The new. Let's bring the new. And I bring it next to Mother Earth. The new is in Mother Russia still, but it's there. It's not born, but it's there. Now I go to mothers. Plural. Mothers. They are in pain seeing this. The grandmothers. They are really, they are mourning about the victims here in the original trauma, and the great-grandmothers also. And the female ancestors, they are just mourning, and this is not the past. I forgot to tell you in the beginning, this is not the past. In a constellation, we can never see the past. It's always the present moment. That means if you put somebody there who is already dead, and way back, doesn't matter. This is the present moment. That means, of course, then you can understand this only if you know that the souls are still existing after the death of the body. And they take all the emotions and all the also inner attitudes, even political inner attitudes with them. This doesn't go into the earth with the body. It stays with the souls. I cannot tell you where the souls are, but I know that they exist, because otherwise we would never get any information from them, because we can see only the present moment in a constellation. Of course, it is the imprint of the past, but it's the imprint of the present moment. That means that if you have those grandmothers there, or great-grandmothers, it is their feelings right now, today. In other words, we know that from modern trauma therapy, that their souls froze in the extraordinary, overwhelming grief in the situation where they mourned about their people and their men. And they're still there. And if that happens, and this happens often in overwhelming situations, in overwhelming traumas, then time doesn't count. It's just there all the time, until some input, healing input, comes and freezes them out of that.
The divine feminine.
Yeah. And so I bring divine feminine and divine masculine. So this is, you call that unresolved trauma, because the souls of the people who experienced that in the year 600, over there in Russia, they are still feeling that. And these feelings are then in their energy field, in their personal energy field, and through their person it's part of the energy field of the families, and from there it becomes part of the energy field of the whole nation or even the land. And then people later on just get those feelings and they don't know where it's coming from, and then they start another war or take revenge knowingly. And so it is a cascade of trauma. And but the good thing is about knowing that this is the present moment. The good thing is that then you can understand that if we work with them today and we bring healing into the system here, that the feelings of the souls of the dead, even in the year of 600, and the living, and of course also of us, can change today during we work with them today. And we will do, I will bring those two, and then I'll make a suggestion, because we are running a little bit out of time, but it would be, let me see. Okay.
And let's see on the solution. What?
Oh, solution. Sorry. Solution. Don't forget the solution. I did. See you. Good. Thank you. This is teamwork here. So I just put that here. Mother's here. The divine feminine, divine masculine. It's just in the air. But before the solution, I said, maybe I find it. Again, where was it? Here. The solution. The solution tells us, bring those souls up. Liberate them. Bring them up. And we will, I will do a suggestion just in a minute. Just let me see about the divine feminine. Divine feminine is already there, and it's already doing a healing sound. Divine masculine. Oh, it's doing also like a shaman, like a deeper sound together with divine feminine. And now this is the point where I suggest that we switch to healing voices, which have the same energy like divine feminine and divine masculine. And what you what you do is you just experience that. You don't have to stand in any of those positions. If you want, you can, but you can just see that. And those the shamanic healing powers of healing voices, they will work here if they want, but they could also include you. So if you open up for that, and it's up to you, then it could be that you have healing sensations on your body or your soul or your spirit during this healing. And this might be 15 minutes work, maybe a little longer, I don't know. We will see. But if you just want to watch, you say, okay, not for me, and you just say no, and you don't, they will not come to you and do anything for or with you, because they respect the free will of humans. Okay, so let's start. And now, don't wonder. Now, this is shamanic work. Everything can happen here. Now, and don't wonder about it. It's just what it is. And I'm not doing this. I'm just a medium for that. But it could be that it's really loud and aggressive for a while. So don't be afraid. You know, you're on the safe side. Remember that. And otherwise, just experience that. Okay. There might be some warning sounds when they work with the victims, and then we see. And then later on, we see what the changes are. Okay, let's go. So I do the imitation here. You don't hear it, but I do that. And please all be muted now. Hemoya samayeson de yim toze haezamo hemaye samoyezin hemoye sayozon de zayem hezamaha hemoye toizavon hemoye toizavon deyeme haezama heyawa toizavon heyawa toizavon yetayama yotayem hamozei hamozem hema hamaisata haizayetai hawa haevatawai esawotiye samon haeza haezama heyawom teyezawom heyamo teyezamom tezawom tezayema teyamai toyezawom teyamai toyezawom tezayom hayemato hemoye zayozotom hemoye zatoyevon yezavoye zavote hemoze zavoteyen hemoze tozavon yontahen tahoy Homosea, 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 homoea, homosita, ye, haisato, ye, isayabote, ye, havotea, hoyesao, hevosita, ye, mahai, homosea, hoyesama, Hayesima, hayesem, hayemaya, hayesita, hemasita, yesa, heita, yema, tayesamone, yotu isi timusutu, imo hoyusutu yesi, imutu yuhumutu, imutu yesumutu, imutu yewotu yesi, ima hoya Waikya matayeta, hamataya maheta, hamataya vahavokyasayesim, hayesaye veteye kyavase mahate, heyesamatayisayes, hamosetaya hayesavosei. Wayetamaye se yavo sava he sahi, he savo savo sitavi, he savo savo sitavo, he savaya sa he savi, he savaya he saye, he savo savo sitaya vahaise, havoye savo, wayekesama, teyamasime. Dea mete kevate mahato sayes, havosema yahosa yes, hayemate yes kevaso yu, hayevahase te yamaya hayemates, hayemaya hayemates, hayemaya vahete yahoivo. Hemataye vakya semetaye heyatos, heyameta wo heyatos, heyamotaya wataya wosevi. Waye kyasa, waye mataya waye tasa, waye wataya waye tasa, waye tasa, waye kyavase. Haye waye toye vekye wa haye toye, haye veta wa heya toye, wate wake heya wachiya wo, haye tito wo ba 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 boo boom 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 boom. Waye vakya sa yo so. Hebo sabo, oye his abo. Hebo sabo, sabo, he sabo, so isom. Waye ke mata ye tabo sabo, haye ke. I don't know how long they dance here. A little bit more. Haye ti sabo, he yebo. He si amate yawabato ye so ti ye. Hema ye se, he ye wete ye hemotes. Hey, ya wata ya haye zabo, haye zabo, he was a toyusin. Kyo, he, ma, kyo, sa.
Почему-то дошли до Хазар. Хазар, оказывается, были Jewish, в основном,
Oh, you were to about kyo. Please mute yourself. Yesama yesa yom, da, yesamo yega yom, da, yesamo, probably was this Russia or was this Ukrainian? I don't know. Oh yes, sabo sabo, so ye ta ye, te ye mo ba ba bo bo bo, bo 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 bo, bo 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 bo. Ku hey what ti ha isa wa ha ye, oh say hey ah, hi ya mai ta ya wa ta ya sa wa. Okay, so what I will do now, this is part of the recording also, and an important part of that all, that I go through the constellation and you can do that with me on your side. And I always start to see the healed picture so that you know that and also can take that with you, or know that And always start in the very, very back corner where the original trauma is and where the original highest perpetrator is. From there I work down, and then we just see what's now. And we talk later. Just take that in. So this is the highest hierarchical leader of those tribes now, and he is disempowered, destroyed, on the floor, gone, and the next perpetrators here also. So the perpetrators of the original trauma, they all are energetically destroyed, disempowered and gone. Now I go to one of the victims here of the original trauma. Slowly waking up from that state of being this trauma coming up. But it needs time, but it is developing, the liberation is coming and developing. I go to the next victim of the original trauma. Standing calm and being in contact with many others victims of that period. And they all come up, or two, and they see each other and smile at each other, forming like a community again. And here is, well, the great-grandmothers to just stand there. Also more and more opening up. The grandmothers will they look at the victims there in the period where the Tsar was murdered. So I go to the perpetrators of that period. So this is one of them. Well, they are all also disempowered, destroyed. So they are gone. Now I go to the victims, and this is still other victims, not the family of the Tsar, but victims of that period. They slowly come up, and they need time to evolve more and more. The next one, obviously something with the neck, readjusting the neck. Now I go to the Tsar, Alexander II. He was dead on the floor in the beginning. I go to him now. Standing calm, standing like on a funeral. Also somehow there is also regret with him. Like that he would understand this, and this is now his wife. She comes up, but she still needs support, exhausted. So still needs time, and this is the son of them. Also stand there, like on a funeral. Maybe all the victims who came later, I don't know. But he sees the victims of the actual Ukrainian war. He sees them. And he cries about them. And this needs time, you know, he keeps on crying. This is the first daughter. Also crying. So sad. And the second daughter. also standing like on a funeral. And she cries, and then she goes to her father and mother, and they start to stand together. The third daughter also. So they come together and they cry together, standing. And this is the fourth daughter also. Now I go back to the Tsar, Alexander II, where he collects his family around him, still being serious. And his wife leans her head there. Now I go to Mother Russia. Well, she obviously delivered. Somehow gone. The new is there next to her. It's very new, shiny. Hey! So, Mother Russia gave birth to the new. And it's very new and shiny. And I have the goosebumps all over when I say that. And this always happens to me when I just say something important and right. So there is something new coming from Russia. Something very new and shiny. So here is Russia. Russia is going down and bowing in front of Mother Russia. Very quiet. This is revenge. It's gone on the floor. There is no revenge. This is silence, which was in the beginning with Russian people. Remember? Silence. But this is not silence anymore. It's something that's transformed. So this is people of Russia who want war. They go down. They go down. They go down. So this is not a person. So it might be the ratio of people in Russia who want war going down. They go to people of Russia who want peace. Yeah. They stand there and they look at Putin. Oh, okay. Let's talk. Something like this. So they're much stronger than the beginning. They go to Putin. So he doesn't want to talk with them, but obviously he will have no chance. He knows that he's weaker. He's weaker. So the strong force are the people of Russia who want peace. This is the solution. The solution is here in Ukraine, right? It's already working in Ukraine. And aggression is gone. The aggressor, this is a person. The aggressor is also gone. Klaus Schwab, also disempowered and like destroyed. I go there. He would like to hide there. And this is not necessarily meaning that the person, Klaus Schwab, is doing that. It could be, I don't know. But what it does mean, it is in the whole energetic system, his energy is going down. And his importance and his influence. And this is for sure. And this is now the truth. So you don't believe it, take it as the truth, because it is not an imagination. This is an energetic truth. So I go to the World Economic Forum. It's also going down. So the energy of the World Economic Forum is going down. The secret here is also gone. We have a plan the plan was, remember that when I was in the plan before, he was searching for some dead people on the floor. So the plan was, or the greater plan was, to really bring those victims into the consciousness of everybody, and also bring them out of that frozen state of trauma. So, and the secret plan lost all its energy, is on the floor. Now let's go to where's war? It was somewhere here. Oh yeah, war. War is also gone energetically on the floor. I go to peace. Peace. It's stretching. It's stretching. So it's like somebody who gets into flow, but it needs some time. So this will be not tomorrow, even not around us. But peace is stretching, like somebody who is then getting on the move later on. Time is also needed for development. Okay. So somebody who was somehow in a certain position for a long time. Okay, so this is Nazism. Okay, sits down and falls asleep or fades away. So the energy of Nazism is going away. The programs are also going away. That does not mean that they did not happen, of course not. But it means that they now finally can be part of the past. And the Holocaust. Still holding the heart. And suffering. But this is now another constellation for that. So Holocaust is still suffering. And this, you see that all over, also in personal constellations, that this is not healed. It needs more healing. And Jewish people, they still are on the edge here, just watching. Here is Ukraine. The truth, maybe. The truth. Let me do that first. Truth. It's like a greeting to above, like truth is connected to the above. Or greetings to some energy over there. Now there is a humanity who wants peace. And this is now different. And humanity who wants peace is singing a healing song. You can hear it. If you would be able to stand here, you would hear that all. Now you can't, but they still do that. So humanity who wants peace is singing a healing song. Humanity is going to humanity who wants peace. So it's like merging with it. And here we have humanity who wants war. It's going down. Meaning also that portion maybe of humanity who wants war is going down. And there is the negative energy. They fall away, so they are still in fear and they fall away. So the healers did also work with them or against them. So they are falling outside of this system. Europe. Okay. Feeling not very, very connected here and trying to understand, but don't. Europe. But now I go to the European government. They go down. some reason, the European government is losing influence and energy. And here we have the people of Europe. Liberated, liberated, liberated and strong and full of joy. Now I go to Ukraine. Oh, we have money first, why not? Okay, money sits down, fades away, and loses its influence. Power. Power is now with Ukraine, connected to Ukraine. I go to Ukraine, and the healers already connected Ukraine, the people of Ukraine, and the land of Ukraine to one here, but I go to Ukraine in the middle here. Oh, still exhausted. Wow. Wow. Oh. 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 Well, Ukraine will need time to recover. And this will take time. People of Ukraine. The people of Ukraine are up singing as humanity who wants peace, a healing song. And this is energetically true. So if you're Ukrainian, feel that. It is coming. It is coming in all of you, energetically. So Mother Earth, and then the land of Ukraine. Oh, okay. Well, it's now just like, it's just land. Now it just feels like normal land, which is good. Land, if land feels like just land. Mother Earth. Is still singing a healing song connected to the above and to Earth. And Mother Earth is doing this all the time. It will be sing that for a long time. Is that because, okay, good. What else? China. Almost forgot about China. Watching and basically being bored now. I mean, being bored and no plan. Okay, I think that's it. And I thank you all for being with me with this constellation. I will stop.
Zelensky, you didn't try Zelensky. Zelensky.
Okay, so some Russian or Ukraine.
No, I said sounds. Zelensky. You didn't try it. Zelensky. How does it feel?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. I didn't get it acoustic. Sorry. So I have to learn that.
Go to the US.
Yes. And the US. My God. So I go to Zelensky. He goes down. Touches Ukraine and mourns. And here, sorry, I forgot. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. So United States of America. Oh, it's also going down. And thinking about something. On the floor. Well, United States of America has their own dead and victims, so they start maybe connecting to that. And now I go to people of United States. You remember it was a fight within the people of United States before. Okay. Obviously the fight stopped. And now they have to feel, okay, what can I do? I don't know. Well, it is true that they cannot do much. So they don't have to do something. It is now different. And now
there was Jews just Jews, what happened to them?
The same thing, the same thing. It is, there is no, in the constellation, there is no difference between Jewish people and Jews. They just feel the very same. And now, Biden. Oh, okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't feel like an old man, just calm now, and he washes them, family of the Tsar. Still feels a little bit, supreme, or wants to make him stronger than he is, but he is much calmer there. Anything else? Did I forget something?
Yeah, what about NATO? Still in the door?
NATO, my God, yeah, sorry. NATO. Well, they still stay there and don't know what to do. And if I close the door, they would open it again. So for them it's obviously important that this door is open, even so that they'll go through that door. So that they stay there with the option to go, but they're still there. But they don't do much. Okay, what's that it? Pardon?
The plan.
Religion.
Oh, the plan. I was there.
Religion.
Really. I was there. The plan. The plan was welcoming the victims there, and please. Well, you should. Okay.
Religion.
I forget to pin myself. Well, what did you say?
Religion.
Religion. It goes down and loses its influence. Okay.
And it's 7:30 now.
I know. Now I stop the recording so we can talk.
Recording stopped.